The secret to staying personal with your real estate relationships. Is your CRM helping you build relationships, or is it just making you sound robotic?
Welcome to the Open Books Podcast, where we discuss all things real estate, helping you take the road less traveled to real estate success. I'm your co-host, Curtis Haddock, alongside Casey Tuter and Brooke Massey. Good morning.
Good morning.
I have a question real quick.
What's that?
Are we just talking about CRMs or are we talking about automation in general?
I think automation in general.
Okay, good. Because if it was just the CRM, then I was not going to know what I was going to say.
You do your CRM.
Yeah. Well, basically what I was going to say this morning was...
and then this is it, right? This is your nugget, and then you're done for the day, right?
Yeah, I'm out.
Okay.
Yeah,
He's leaving the
I
podcast.
got more important things to do than you guys, so... No. But basically what I see happening is everyone is interested in automating their systems and automating their lives. Mm-hmm. And what I also see with that happening is they are losing their personal touch. And so I just don't think it's going to work. I think there's a way to do it, and I think there's a happy medium, but I think that you have to be more involved at this point than people think. I saw a video this morning that said, I just made 100 Canva videos or 100 Instagram reels in 30 seconds with this program.
Yeah,
and I'm like they're all going to be super generic.
Yeah, and not going to work, and none of them are going to generate income. You
Right.
know, it's a great hook to try to get people to spend money.
Yeah.
Those ads and everything. But I 100% agree with you. Is that people are looking to. And the people selling it, they know people are trying to are looking to find easier ways to get things done with their business, with their lives. Like, you can run your entire business with AI now. You don't even need a human at all. And depending on what type of business it is, then maybe you could do that with some sort of maybe coding or programming type of business.
But real estate, no.
Not real estate. And also, I think that people are looking to automate their lives for the wrong reasons. They're looking to automate their lives so that they can do less work. Mm-hmm. I think that that's the mistake that people are making, is that if you should be looking to automate your life so you could do more of the important stuff.
Mm-hmm. What are your top 3 priorities? We talk about it all the time. Everything else, that's what you delegate and automate and whatever.
But people are looking. This is nothing new. It's just a different technology. Everyone has always, and to this day, people want a passive way to make money and get rich and live the so-called American dream. And when AI started blowing up, I compare it to when the internet started getting big. And I can only relate it to what the real estate industry went through, but everybody said you got to have a website. You have to have your own personal website. You got to brand it, because that's how people are going to find you. You think people are going to want to use you if you don't even have a place to post your listings? And it was this big deal, and people spent so much money building websites, developing their websites, and then the cost got cheaper and cheaper, to do it a certain way. Now a lot of real estate agent websites are very generic, and they all kind of look the same, and there's still a purpose for them, but I would not go as far as saying that if you don't have a website that you can't be successful in real estate.
Yeah.
I know plenty of people that don't have websites. That make good money.
Yeah.
Because what they focused on is the relationship.
Yep.
And
that's what people forget. It's the relationship.
And the more, and it's funny because you spend all this time trying to automate your business, and you end up spending more time trying to figure that out. Mm-hmm. And I know because I've tried.
And I think that people don't
the
want
great
to,
ideas pop up. And you're like, let me do this. And you just spend hours doing it. And then you're like, well, that was cool. But now I didn't call anybody. Yeah. And now I got to negotiate this offer that I got a couple hours ago.
Yeah, and this cool thing is not generating any income. And,
Or then you build it. And this is what I do. I build it. And then I go out there and I go and out in the world. I'm like, yeah, I got this thing. I'm going to make it easy. And then I'm like, I ain't got time for that. I'd much rather just talk to this person, you know?
or you don't use it, or it's not exactly what you thought it would be, or it's not getting the results that you thought it would as far as like reception to it, or whatever getting people into your automated system is not going as easy as you thought it would. I mean, there's just so many variables to automation, and if you look for automation if you look to use automation for the right things, that's how you're going to win and make your life a lot easier.
So what are we talking about today, Kurtai?
Well, hopefully you gathered what we're talking about today.
I don't know
this entire conversation, but that's the first point is automation should support your relationship, not replace it. And I think, again, most people are looking to use it to replace it. Personal touch points is what matters, in follow-up. And if you're not doing those personal touch points, then you're not following up, And so we always say fortune's in the follow-up. You got to have those personal touch points because, again, that's what warms people up to using you, then referring you, and helping you build your business. And a strong system keeps you top of mind without overwhelming people. And the important thing is staying top of mind, and also understanding that staying top of mind doesn't guarantee results. So I think a lot of people use top of mind also as a passive thing. And sometimes you got to do, again, back to the second point, is you got to have a touch point, and a personal touch point, not just an automated touch point is kind of what I'm getting at there. So, I mean, we kind of touched on the first one, but automate should support the relationship, not replace it. How can our listeners use automation and use tools to help support the relationship?
I think for me, automation helps you remember people. I say it all the time, but I don't know if it's just me or what, but I will get several things under contract, and then I have a client named Chrissy, a cross-sell agent named Chrissy, someone else I'm following up with named Chrissy. This actually happened to me last night. We called the wrong Chrissy, and we were trying to call the agent, and then it was a client that we were following up with that, whatever. But the point of my story is I run into so many people. I also had a married couple, and it was Sam and George. Then I had George and a Samantha, and then the lender's name was something similar to George and Samantha. And it gets really confusing, especially because we talk to so many people. So my CRM, my automation is great when I have the notes. So I remember what this Samantha is. Oh, this is Samantha with the golden retriever puppy that they just took to the vet. Or this is the Samantha that she's having a hard time get pre-approved, and she's going to take some time. So I need to follow up with her for check-in to see if she's doing credit repair or whatever. So I think that's a big one for me to still connect with people personally, because I just can't remember everyone's dog's names or kids' names or every single situation. It starts to kind of get crossed in the wires.
Are you able to, though, so you're able to automate that? To me, that still takes a lot of human work, to get the note in there, and then when you're doing the follow up, that's a human actually reaching out and looking at the notes to do it. And so, I mean, I guess.
Well, I have a system. Well, I mean, it is another person, but I've created a smart plan that reminds us to put in those notes. So it's a little bit of both. I feel like automation, it has to be a little bit of both, especially what we're doing as in the real estate industry. Yeah. It can't all be automated, like we kind of said at the beginning. It has to be a mixture. But those reminders of helping either my assistant or me remind to put those in. Otherwise, I'll just keep going, and that's not a good system.
I think there's certain ways to automate certain things that only works for certain, I don't know what I'm trying to say.
People?
Well, let's just say that you're trying to sell some artwork online. You do the artwork. Then
what are you selling? What kind of artwork are you selling?
Whatever. Marvel.
Ooh,
characters.
I'm in.
I guess you couldn't get, you probably get in trouble for that. So you have this custom artwork, and then you put it online, you put it on a website, and then once it's on the website, then everything else is automated. That's automation. So someone orders it, they click on it, it notifies that the package needs to be sent, and then the package is sent, and they receive it, and you didn't do anything. So I think that's automation. Now you got to pay for all that. Like, Amazon is a great example. You buy something, it's in the warehouse, someone loads it, and it's all done. Or you order a burger at a restaurant, and they put it in the computer, and then the kitchen gets it. Like,
that's complete automation.
Yeah.
But like,
So-
how does the automation like help you like with the actual relationship?
So,
I guess.
So what I
Not
would say is
just
probably like
a sales process.
a good example of automation would be Realty Remembered. So whenever you close on a house, then they get gifts every.
Yeah.
That's automation. It's not something you've thought about after the fact. It's you just put their address in and it's done.
It's done,
Yeah.
and then they get gifts to your top of mind
So,
for
I
them
guess-
throughout the year.
Yeah, and I guess the point of this is these are automations after you got the business. What a lot of people are wanting to do, as you mentioned, is they're trying to automate their life to get the business, and that's where they lose the.
Well, and
I
I think
just try-
there's a combination like we've been talking about where you can do it.
Yeah.
You just cannot lose that personal touch.
I think just automating when those personal touches are, because like I have everything. I go to an appointment, my system knows when I'm at the appointment, and then it creates either tasks to do the notes, or maybe this person, I had to move their pipeline. Well, now that they're in this pipeline, well, it's going to help me remember to follow up with them. Even my Close Smart plan, I do that, but I have everything where it at least creates somewhat of a task, which you have to be careful because you can create way too many tasks
I was
for
going to
yourself.
say like that could get overwhelming for some people.
Yes. Yeah. I've done a little bit of everything. I've done too many tasks and then I narrow it down. But I think that's the part of automation where people stop because they're like, oh, it's automatic. Once I set it up, I can wipe my hands. And it's like, no, that's not what happens.
Now you gotta manage it.
Technology is changing and things change. Your business tweaks, the market tweaks. And so you always have to like be going on the back end and tweaking things. And I think a lot of people just don't want to do that. They don't want to have to go back to it. So it takes a lot of tweaking. But for me, the automation is I have to automate so I don't forget somebody because there's just so many people. And as long as I'm throwing them in there, at this point with my CRM, all I have to do is just put in a name and number, email, and then based on their pipeline or segment, everything else is automatic. So I know exactly what to do with that lead now going forward when I don't forget about them, essentially.
Yeah.
So
Claude automated something for me yesterday. It was insane.
what do you automate?
Well, someone just randomly in a different county that like Woodward, way far away, were just curious what this land would be worth. And I don't have access to all that information.
Yeah.
And it was just this jumbled legal. Anyways, I put all this information into Claude on the browser, on the extension, and it literally took over my screen.
Yeah.
I
Is
didn't-
that co-work?
I was watching. I was like, "What the heck?" Just clicking on different links.
Yeah, and then it
gathering all
uses
this
a
information from.
Ton of data.
Yeah, and it did it. It did it in like 5 minutes, and that would have taken me hours.
Yeah.
Like grabbing all this information from land.com, Zillow.com, anything and everything, and it was. I think it was pretty accurate what
Yeah.
it came up with.
Yeah, anytime that I have used Claude to do tasks like that would be tedious, and I get it back, it's pretty. I mean, I found a few mistakes.
Yeah, you can't trust it. For
No,
sure.
no, they all make mistakes.
You gotta for instance, like we have a lot of our tracking is done on Excel, and so in fact, here's a great example. We had I needed to figure out our power hour days. I wanted to figure out how many power hours every single agent on our roster had been to from the beginning of the year. All I had to do was tell Claude to give me the information and put it on a new spreadsheet and organize it from most to least.
Yeah.
And it did it. And it did it within like a couple minutes. It was awesome. That would have taken me several hours to like go through, organize it, gather the data. It would have been awful. But it did it in such a short amount of time. Now it was off by just a little bit, but that was an easy thing to fix and to correct to save
Saved you
myself
hours.
2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
these are the kinds of things that I think people need to be using automation for.
100%. That's what I was gonna say.
But you already knew what you needed it to do.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
you're just
Brooke
You're
and I
the
talk about
boss.
this a lot. Another great thing to automate is any time, like in your business, you sometimes will communicate the same thing over and over
Ugh.
and over again.
That's like the thing
How
I
often
hate
do you have to give
most.
somebody your email or your phone number or anything? Well, we use text replacement a lot. And granted, that's not like fully automated. You still have to type in something to get it. But I have emails that use text replacement where I just have to type one word and then I put a number after it because sometimes I need to use that word in a sentence, you
Yeah.
know. And so the last thing I want is to type that word and then all of a sudden a huge paragraph comes.
oh my god.
Yeah.
And
I always
I've
add
done
that.
you
I always
know?
do a double letter. So like if I go under contract with somebody,
That works too.
it's
yeah.
contract with 2 T's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to use the number because I could see myself accidentally doing 2 T's or something
fair.
at the end. But yeah, I have entire emails that are I just type a word in, put a number at the end, and then boom, my email is drafted. Now, unfortunately, with text replacement, it's not formatted, so you still have to like go in and like put your spaces and things like that. Now, unless there's a way to have it formatted, someone tell me if there is, because that would be awesome. But man, I use that for so many things. I even was sending out a bunch of emails to our agents for leads the other day on Power Hour, and I even did a text replacement in front of them because I was going to have to use the same subject for every single email, and it was website lead. So all I did was type in lead 1, and it types out website lead. You know, and you think typing out website leads doesn't take that much time, but man, when you're sending out like 100 emails, that's annoying. You know, so stuff like that. It automation. I don't like that word really because
I was just asking, like, I want to debunk what automation is.
Yeah,
because it's not what you said, Casey. No offense. It's not do it online. That is like complete automation, but in our business, that's not what it doesn't mean you cannot have a true, yes, but in our business, you can't have true automation where you just set it up and forget it.
Very few businesses can you, but
Yeah.
but there are some things that you can set it and forget it. But
There's still a
that's
human
not going to
element.
generate. That's not what generates more business. Now, actually, I'll take that back. Some of it can generate business because you set up those gifts and you set it and forget it.
Yeah.
And you continue to do that for years and years.
But you still have
get
to do it.
referrals.
You
know?
still have to do it.
Sure,
though.
but once you set it up,
Yeah.
it's pretty much done. There's nothing else for you to do. Any automation you have to set up, but what the reason why I'm saying I don't like the word automation is because nothing is truly really just set and forget because there's still parts of it that you have to come back and look at, renew, make sure it's something you still want to do. You might need to, as Brooke said, you might need to tweak a few things here and there, and so.
It's not magic.
There's
I
just
just
too
don't
many
like the
things.
word
There's just too many
automation.
things to do for realtors.
Well,
Yeah,
all it does
is.
is I think it scares. It's a great scare tactic, and it's a great influencer to try to convince agents. It's keeping realtors busy on non-important things, and
It's made it
scaring
worse.
them. Well, I mean, you hear news stories. I saw an article that, I was talking to Chat about it, and it told me that it's just. It's making a lot of agents afraid, and it's basically a for sale by owner was able to sell their house using nothing but ChatGPT. And you read an article like that, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, yeah." But in order for him to have, he didn't have this fully automated system that helped get the house sold, but he used it for pricing. He used it for the contract. He just used it to, now, the deal got done and maybe they found a good buyer, but what happens if things went south? Was it a good contract that kept him from, if he would have got sued, could he have lost bad, right? What if things did not go smooth? You just never know when you hear that stuff. And there's always going to be businesses that are going to look to make your life easier, and we should pay attention to that, and we should do everything we can to make our lives easier and simpler, but not in the name of working less.
Yeah.
In the name of doing more of the money-making, relationship-building activities.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing. It's like, I'm not necessarily talking about automation, but it's like before you had to mail a letter, take a week, 2-3 days to get there. They came out with email, and then it's immediate. Now you can pay someone to go pick your signs up and deliver your signs. Like,
Oh, yeah.
that's automation in a sense. You're basically employing something or someone else to do something to give you more time to get more business.
Automation and systems go hand in hand. Like, you can't, especially in real estate, like, there's just so much of a human element, and you brought up a very good point. So for me, when I think about automation, I don't just think about AI. I think about assistants and people helping you, and also me, but also what is things that I always look to make everyone's job easier. And that's what I look for automation. It may be use AI to do an email like Curtis was talking about, or somebody going and picking up the signs. That's all automation in my eyes. I just don't think anything is like in our business is truly automatic. Mm-hmm. Like where somebody can just, maybe Zillow might be close to that, but even then they still have there's still an agent that they have to connect to, but they might be one of the closest.
Here's a thought-provoking question. Maybe it'll get some good discussion or not. I mean, there's going, and it might be right around the corner. There will be an app, or I don't know, an app. There will be technology that will eliminate the need for agents to write the contract. And and so when that happens, let's say it happens soon, okay? I have two questions surrounding that. One, is that something that agents should look to do? And two, what does that mean for our value? Because do you think our value is centered around? Because I know my answer. I'll just go ahead and say it. I don't think the value is centered around writing a contract.
No, it's not.
It's knowing the contract.
Mm-hmm. It's too much of a. I just was talking about this. It's too much of a giant puzzle, and I don't remember. And I was talking to an agent, and they had like this crazy deal, and I was just like, I just started laughing, and I was like, this is why we'll always have a job, no matter what anything comes out with or whatever, is because there's no way we're dealing with people's emotions, their situations, and that those two things go hand in hand are so huge and can be very complicated for every single scenario.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be something like, kind of like our situation the other day with title. And it's like, sorry, we have a delay. And that's what you get. And then the buyer's like, what do you mean we have a delay? Sorry, 5 to 7 days. Unacceptable. Sorry. It's like, well, I mean, if it's all automated and
That's all
you got to be able to call someone and talk through that problem.
Yeah, no, for sure. Because stuff like that will always come up. I mean,
it does every time.
Yeah. Well, not almost every time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay,
but
almost.
yeah.
Enough to keep us employed.
Yes. And so the value is not in writing the contract, but I think when technology and I think the technology even exists now for somebody to kind of put something together to, write the contract. But even if you have something like that, you still have to know what you are putting into the contract to press the go button.
Yes.
Button. Yeah, button. And so
Sorry.
The whole contract gets spit out for you. Now, okay, did it get all the disclosures that you needed for this specific situation?
Is it contingent?
Yeah.
What
I
type
mean,
of contingency?
Yeah, there's so many things. Like, I think it's dangerous to try to automate the contract writing process. I think it's very, very dangerous. And I also think it's going to now. I think when we get there and people start using it, and it becomes like a thing that you almost like. I do think eventually we might have to do it if it becomes like a big thing that everyone's doing. However, I don't want to say we have to, but it's dangerous because it's going to make agents dumber.
Yeah.
And that's a very scary thing because you already have a lot of agents that already don't know
Well,
the contract very well.
I could almost put I will put my money on people like Mikey McGahan and my friend Bree Green, who's more organic. They get all their business through referral and word of mouth, and they crush it. And they don't have fancy websites, and they don't
Mike
use
is barely
social
on
media.
Yeah, I was going to say Mike is barely on Facebook.
I'm going to put my money on those people, and that should tell us to maybe focus on what they're doing. And again, like what I was telling people yesterday on Power Hour, it's like all this stuff I'm doing is important, but like it's difficult. I ran into problems like I do every time trying to figure something out.
It's time consuming.
It's time consuming. And I could easily do this all day. And honestly, I'd probably rather do that all day so I don't have to go talk to people.
Yeah.
But that's not the job.
Yeah.
So spend 30 minutes a day on it, maybe an hour a day, but don't do it over building relationships with people.
Well, I think that people think that it is going to help them get more relationships easier, faster, and they forget that. I mean, even if it does acquire a customer for them, they still have to pick up the phone, call them, schedule an appointment, meet them face to face.
Spend money,
do the consultations. Spend money. There's still so many elements that are a part of it. So really, automation should be geared around your processes,
Yes.
Making things more efficient, quicker, being notified of things, faster and more accurately, more reliant, and things like that. And so, I mean,
I think anything just focus on getting relationships and going after sales. That's all you need to focus on, especially if you're new or if you're trying to get business. Don't worry about all this other stuff for right now. Just go out there and get business. And then I remember whenever I kind of started, then I was like, okay, I'm tired of saying the same thing about getting pre-approved every single time. And then I started with text replacements.
Yeah.
And it's just you slowly start building on stuff like that. You don't need to be into Claude and know what Claude can do and have Claude be able to control your computer. And all that stuff's cool, but you're building a business. If you're building a business, like you can't have a business if you don't have sales. So you have to focus on sales.
This is what I think everyone should do to start. Well, focus on the relationships, but when you get the deals, your first two things are you hire a photographer, you don't do it yourself,
Yeah, please don't do it
and you get a
yourself.
transaction coordinator. Those are the first two things. And when you close the houses, the two things you do is you get Google and Zillow review. Because you don't have to know AI or use ChatGPT at all to be a recommended agent through ChatGPT.
Because those profiles are already set up and are feeding to those things.
So if you want to be seen online, instead of figuring out all this automation stuff, whatever you think is going to work to get your clients, go get your clients on the systems that we teach. Open houses for sell by owners, expires, yada yada.
It's the basics.
Do the basics, and then photographer and title company, and then Google and Zillow reviews. Start there.
Yeah, and then maybe get a processor.
Yeah.
And a lot of those processors, they have cool systems and stuff like that. So make sure that you have a processor that one knows how to do transactions, but maybe they already have some of that automation, and then you don't have to think about it. They just have it. That's easy. What's the next topic?
I mean, we've covered
Like
all
everything?
of it, and
Personal
it's all
touch
kind of tied together,
Strong system keeps you top of mind without overwhelming people. Yeah, because it doesn't have to be too much. Like you can set up a CRM and you can do way too many emails, and then I get Ricky Caruth. I saw a video he posted this morning, and he was like, you want to get unsubscribed, which is very true. But, if you're also just like being robotic with your CRM and just blasting people every day, that's not really good. So like what you do with your weekly email, Casey, like that's very simple. It's it's somewhat automatic. You have it set, you have a template, and you just have to feed like the basic of it, and then you get to send it out to thousands of people, and that's a very simple, very easy, doesn't take a lot of your time, and I think it's a very good personal touch.
I got that from Ricky Cruz.
Good job, Ricky Cruz. You should come be a
How many times
guess.
have you been unsubscribed?
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some
If
people
you're getting
are
unsubscribed,
some
it means
people are
you're
just
sending it out.
That's right. That's his point. Some people are just downright mean.
Oh, total. They get so mad.
I'm like,
Yeah.
man,
They're like, remove me from your list. And it's like, bro.
immediately or else. And it's like, do you send every spam email
I
like
know.
this message?
I know.
I
Maybe he's
That's-
got text replacement.
yeah. It's automated.
Yeah, it's automated.
I've gotten some pretty, and I even had one where I was just learning how to get everything, when people would unsubscribe, there was a couple of things that I had going, or I had two different. That's what it was. I had two different smart plans going, and so they unsubscribed, and so it unsubscribes them from that smart plan, and then they got another email like a week later. I already told you. You better. I can't remember word for word, but they were mad, and so then I actually went into their profile and just turned off their from getting anything ever.
You guys know this story, but I had one guy one time, and he got mad. I sent out a mass text, and it was in Florida, and if you go do like automatic texting or anything, I highly suggest do a background check on your phone number that you have. Because my phone number, it was some guy, and he had like 2 DUIs or something like that. And so I sent this message out. I don't even remember what the message was. It was like a generic one. This guy was texting me and blowing me up and like almost threatening me. And then it went on to the next day. I didn't even respond. It went on to the next day. Then he like looked up my number, and then he just started talking mad crap. And he was like, listen here, Jim, or whatever the name was. He said, does your entire brokerage know that you have 2 DUIs and and all this stuff, and you're a crappy human and sending out terrible. It was like angry, and he may have said some bad words. I was like, bad leads, delete, unsubscribe, never call this guy again. Like,
well, I do think it's important to make a point. Like now, you can't send out automated text like that anymore.
This was a while ago.
Yeah,
Why am I still getting them every day?
Well, because people don't always follow the rules. But and you have to have if you automate your text messages, you have to have 1-to-1 consent. Mm-hmm. It's the TCPA rules, and so the only way around it is manually sending a text yourself. So if you're using a CRM and texting is probably the riskiest one. I mean, in fact, I don't want to give advice. Yeah, in fact, you make sure you get 1-to-1 consent if you're using automation to reach out to people, whether it's email or text message.
Yeah.
So I think those rules are definitely.
This was
And
prior
I think
to
that's
the
good.
TPCA.
I mean, God, man, people need some kind of freaking privacy in their life.
Oh yeah, totally.
Without getting dinged all day long.
Mm-hmm.
I swear. I mean, if you guys have AT&T offers an app called Active Armor, and
I use it. It helps, but it's not perfect.
No, but it helps. Like probably 90% of the spam calls that I was getting all the time, eliminated them. So I mean, that's I'm thankful for that, because otherwise it's hard as a real estate agent, because then you get to the point we get so many spam calls, I don't even want to answer my phone.
Well, I don't answer my phone because of that. I saw a post yesterday. It's like, if my phone rings, it's either a new buyer or a complete waste of my time.
And most of the time it's a complete waste of my time.
Most of the time, yeah. And that's what I tell my client. I started telling all my clients and everyone that I meet, like, hey, like, just do me a favor. When you or your friend reaches out to me, like, either set us up on a group message or tell them to text me or leave a message, because I get calls all day long. I can't answer them. And if I'm answering a spam call and then your friend calls me, then I miss it because I can't do it. Like, I have to know who's reaching out to me, and then I'll call them right back.
That's I have it set up in my voicemail. The book 7 Levels of Communication teaches that there's a proper way. I think we all have our voicemail set up, and that's what I say in my voicemail. Like, hey, if you want a faster response, send me a text message. Please leave me a detailed message in my voice message. And you'd be surprised. I actually have people that do a really good job, and they send me really, really good voicemails. Man, that is so helpful. So, because then I can listen to that voicemail and then immediately pick up my phone and be like, hey, I heard your voicemail, blah, 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 blah. Here's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
So, again, another little automation thing.
Yeah.
Automation is simple and can be complicated. Just start with the simple, and it's not
Just
always about AI.
remember that automation is not automatic.
Yes. It's somewhat automatic.
That's right. It's semi-automatic.
It's semi.
We're talking about guns here. Okay, guys. Well, let us know what you took away from the episode today. Let us know if you got any hints or how you automate your
let
business.
us know how you automate your processes in your lives.
We'd
Help
like
us
to know.
out.
Yeah, help us out, please. All right. Well, we're signing off. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And this is Curtis Haddock. I'm Casey Tuter. And this is Brooke Massey.